Power Maximus drops the mic like Thor's hammer, boom. Chasing M40, scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage stitches through his threads of the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films off rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind.
Like the story of Dracula, or at least his origin story, as a tragedy.
Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. With the narrators of myths.
Oh my god.
Wow, holy shit, shapeshifter.
We
The
dig for the gems,
shapeshifter.
open the doors. It's a super breakdown, we're cracking the code.
Let's touch on Blackheart real quick. We just was shitting you.
From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Super Breakdown Podcast. I'm Power Maximus. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, and the Darth Legacy himself, Jason M40. What is up, my guys? How y'all doing today?
I'm straight. How you feeling?
Whew. Got a lot going on, but I'm here. Yeah, we apologize for us starting a little bit late. Had to take care of family business, but we here nonetheless. How you doing, Jay?
Hey, family's important. I'm doing good.
That's good. Now, I do have to say, let me point it out real quick. Please do not mind, pay no attention to the demonic noises that come from Jay's microphone. That he's battling some demons. He's just trying to get them go. He's trying to get them out. Okay. Man, this is gonna be a fun one. I've been waiting for this one for a minute. For those of you who haven't been paying attention within the last 12, maybe 24 hours, I've been posting about this show. We will be going over the Fantastic Four. We're going over the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family. We're talking about Reed Richards, talking about Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, as well as the big man himself, Ben Grimm. So in this episode, I want to touch on the Fantastic Four in a broad spectrum, right? On a broader level. So and then towards the end of the show, we're gonna crack down and narrow down towards and like hammer more on the first steps that just came out, and what implications First Step has going into Avengers Doomsday, as well as Avengers Secret Wars, and just the MCU as a greater whole. But yeah, let's kick it off here first with our usual how we always do, break down the characters, who they are, where they come from, and in this situation, really how they got their powers, because how they got their powers is very, very important
Unique.
to their. Yeah, it's unique. I want to say unique, but it is definitely it's important to their story and important to their characters and who they are, because that moment not only did it change their lives and change who they are prospectively, but it also it changed the course of their future essentially. But I feel like it also changed them as people. You know what I mean? Like their personality, who they are, and stuff like that. So I feel like that moment is very important to to the Fantastic Four and who the Fantastic Four are as a whole. Lord Triage, would you mind taking us away with the breakdown of the characters, or at least of the Fantastic Four as a whole, and then we can jump into the individuals after.
Well, so going over their origins real quick, it all starts with the quote-unquote smartest man in the world. And I use that term somewhat loosely depending on who we're talking about. Everyone who's seen Multiverse of Madness gets that reference. So,
did I get my spaghetti in your Oreos?
I'm just saying.
My
God. It all starts with Reed Richards, who we all know is a genius and a scientist, and how he dreamed of exploring space.
Mhm.
While at New York State, Reed Richards had shared this dream with his roommate, who was Ben Grimm. Grimm was there on a football scholarship, and how he had expressed his own desires to become a pilot, and how Reed Richards told Ben that someday that he would build this ship and he would explore the stars and he would say things that no other person ever saw. And Ben Grimm had actually agreed to fly said ship in the event it was built. Ben actually goes on after school to go to join the Air Force, and this is how he actually winds up becoming the pilot for Reed's ship.
Mhm.
Now, Reed actually had an issue with his funding, and now his backers were actually threatening to pull it. So right before this happened, he decided to take his ship on a test flight, and at this point in time, he takes his fiance, Susan Storm,
Mhm.
and her kid brother Johnny along for the ride. And this is one of the things I always thought that was kind of weird because in continuity, or
Mhm.
especially I feel like especially like in more live action iterations, Johnny's usually depicted as being a grown man. Now, I always thought of Johnny Storm as being a teenager.
Mm. See, what's interesting is actually not for me. I saw him as being. They say kid brother, but I always saw him as like even in the comic books, I see him as just like younger. You know what I mean? Not necessarily a
Younger
teen.
brother.
Yeah, just a younger brother, not necessarily a kid and not necessarily a teen. Um, but yeah, he's an adult, but he's like maybe like just hitting that adulthood. Still hasn't really matured too much. Kind of like I've always seen him as like around like 24, like at max 24. At max 24. And then we see him in the comics later on when he's doing the whole shit with the what was it, the negative zone, or I think it's called, whatever it's the negative universe or something like that, where pretty much he uses a supernova to seal the portal between this universe and the dark universe.
Oh
And
no,
he
that was
gets,
never wrong.
yeah, it was negative zone. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was right. Yeah. All that, and I see that, that's him older. That's mature Johnny. That's 30. That's 30-year-old Johnny. You know what I mean? He's been around. He's like, all right, willing to take that sacrifice. So no, yeah, really? You've always seen him as a kid? Why is that?
I always took Johnny Storm as being the same age as Peter Parker. So I always took it. I always looked at like, because in my mind, like I always looked at Peter Parker as being, this 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid.
That makes sense now.
Like,
I can
like
see that.
like I think of him being like more Tobey Maguire. You know what I mean? Like, Tobey had just graduated right as he got his powers.
Yeah, but even then it make more sense too, because in the comic books, him and Johnny are best friends.
Right. They're actually
So,
they're actually have a very close relationship.
yeah, so you know what, that makes a lot of sense. Like, to the point, like Spider-Man is the dude that Johnny goes to if he needs to vent, talk about relationship, talk about family stuff, like legit, like best friend stuff. Like shit. In the King of Black storyline, the aftermath at the end of it all. He finds out that the shorty that he was with, apparently they were bonded by some bracelet that they put on each other's arm, and they was dating or whatever, and things didn't work out, and so she left. Oh, no. At first, they were worried that things weren't going to work out between the two of them because of how different they were. And there's a whole scene of Johnny, just him and Peter. Well, he's in Spidey costume, just chilling on a rooftop, and Johnny's just expressing to him, he's like, "Hey, man, I really like this girl. I think this is the one." Blah blah blah, blah, this and that. So you know what? Now that I look at it this way, after you saying that, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense for him and Peter to be around the same age.
But
Yeah.
But I also think it's one of those things like where it's the differences with similarities in their personalities. Like now, once again, Peter Parker, and this is the wild part, because Peter Parker, I don't want to say this super blunt, but because I almost did, he's never been hurt when it comes to the ladies. He's always had one that he's chased or one that was chasing him, but like he's had a lot of love interest.
What do you mean ain't never been hurt?
Like listen.
That man has one of the most tragic love lives in all of comics.
But I'm saying though, like it's not just like he's not just he's defined by his relationship with Mary Jane, but that's just not. Let's not forget Felicia Hardy. Let's not forget Gwen Stacy. Like there have been others, so it's like he's had other love interests.
Oh, but let's look at it though. Let's look at it. Looking, Mary Jane. A lot of the time, she's stringing him along, honeypotting his ass. Right, a lot of the times, and then on the few off chances that the story allows them to get together, the one story I mean hold on, the man kills her with radioactive nut, right? In that storyline, right? She ends up getting cancer, but then there's another story, and then like let's look at Black Cat. Let's look at Felicia Hardy. They was doing a damn thing. That man fell in love with her on two different standpoints. Fell in love with Black Cat and fell in love with Felicia Hardy before he found out that they were the same person, right? But then she strings him along as a cock tease as well, right? And now do we have to talk about Gwen? Do we have to bring up Gwen?
You're the one on this.
I'm just saying. I'll bring up Gwen in the snap. Don't play with me. I'll bring up Gwen in the snap.
That was so unnecessary. God, that was unnecessary. But anywho, but I'm like, the reason why I say this is that if you look at the way like Peter handled the relationship, supposed the way Johnny does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Johnny's whole thing was like, oh, you know, let's not forget about how this nigga fucked up Doom's wedding. But we'll get back to that in a second. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, go ahead.
So during this exploration of space, their shuttle is bombarded by cosmic rays. Now, here's the wild part, because if you ever watched the cartoon from the 90s, I always took that the rays that hit their ship was feedback from Galactus using his powers.
Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah, me either.
So it was supposed to be that from what I understood from the cartoon, that's what I always took from it. And that would also make sense as one of the reasons why their powers were somewhat the power cosmic. That's one of the reasons why Franklin inherits it.
God damn, that makes sense.
And then let's not forget, when the Surfer touched them, he could touch Johnny. He caused him to switch powers with other people. Why did he could directly affect his powers like that? But it would make sense if the being that gave him his powers also accidentally gave them theirs.
That's interesting.
Damn. I'm gonna stop calling them Marvel's first family. I'm gonna start calling them Children of Galactus.
Hey, man, once again, it would make sense because it's never specifically said that the Fantastic Four were technically mutated.
Yeah, but you could gather that their DNA and genes, their genetic material was mutated from the cosmic ray and radiation.
Right.
Again, that's the only thing that makes sense is that they've been mutated. But what else would it be though, if not mutated? Because if you think about it, like Carol, when she got hit, and she got hit, and then it was Captain Marvel that did a blood transfusion with her. That's what gave her powers initially. But when that would still, in a way, transmute or mutate her, her genes, because again, you can't just get power cosmic and then, expect that a human body is going to be able to withstand that much power. It's got to do something to the vessel to change them in a way to make them a suitable host. You know what I'm saying? Because like in reality, if Phoenix Force was just to drop into a regular ass human, I'm pretty sure that human's going to become pudded.
I don't know, because regular people. No, I don't want to say that, because Not so much Normie, but we all know that the Phoenix Force only houses itself inside the most powerful psychics. But there have been other people
Yeah.
who have held the Phoenix Force who did not have psychic based abilities.
Yeah.
Colossus held it for a while. So Cyclops had it. I remember there actually is an issue I have in my collection where Peter Parker winds up holding the Phoenix Force for a small period of time. So it does happen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. I feel like, but it's always been someone who has been super powered or mutated in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? It's never been Joe Schmo that runs the bodega down at the corner. You know what I mean?
What I look at would be Peter from Deadpool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I can like they have to be mutated because here's the thing, and this is what I actually learned about Reed's powers. Like Reed, let's bring up Reed specifically, right?
Okay.
Specifically Reed, right? His powers, he's not just stretching, right? He's not just stretching because it's like then where would all that that excess skin go when he comes back? You see what I'm saying? Like when he goes back to normal. What were they saying? What was it? They said that it's literally his entire being. There's a specific word for what he does, and it's not just stretching.
It's yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forget it.
Yeah, it's the reason why that like he actually cannot stretch infinitely. Because as you saw with Galactus, if that was the case, he would be able to just just keep pulling and keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. But no, there is like he has a limit at as far as what he can stretch.
Well, I don't even think that's so much the same concept because that's no different from Pyro messing around with the Human Torch is fired. Like there's a whole issue where the Human Torch goes on a rampage and is really being controlled by Pyro. So like you got to figure if Galactus is physically stretching him, pulling him, opposed to him willing his muscles to do something, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, but you would think the smartest man in the world is like, oh my god, this man's about to rip me apart. Stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. But still, that's one of those things. Like, okay, if it's him flexing a muscle opposed to someone tearing your muscle, that's not the same.
Yeah, but in that moment,
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying, Jay? But in that moment, wouldn't you be like, you know what? Let me relax and let me allow the stretch to happen. Let me stretch now.
Leave it. Oh my God! Nope. Way too easy. Way too easy. Nope. I'm gonna let that sail into the distance. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Send it. Just let it go.
Let
it go.
I'm gonna resist my stupidity impulse. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Let that go. Just watch it go over the shoreline there.
Listen, if you want to be struck by some large man, that's your business. There's no judgment.
Mr. Fantastic, go ahead. He'll be everyone's favorite in prison.
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
Hey, stretchy dude, do that thing I like.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's horrible. But yeah, so my point is like they have to be mutated. It has to do something to their bodies for Ben Grimm from his skin. Not only to just, it's not like his skin hardened. He has like, and from what I heard is like technically every rock on him is essentially a living thing, a living creature. It's him.
Well, so I took it as it's no different from like they say, every single cell on your body, every single strand of DNA is alive itself. So it's one of those things like where is he just one giant rock or is he a collection of living rocks? Like, like you say, your body is a collection of living, healthy cells. So it's like, if you look at it from that aspect, if they turned
Yeah.
every single cell down to like his bones to rock.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. From my understanding, he does have a skeleton structure underneath there.
Yeah, down to his organs and everything. It's all
Yeah.
stone.
Yep.
It's all stone. I mean, like, because there's been storylines where he's what was it? What they call him? Infinity thing, where he wasn't just stone or rock, but I think he got blasted with the Infinity Gauntlet, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, no, thing's dead." But what ended up happening was his stones, his rock, like his actual his body actually absorbed the power of the Infinity Stones, and it imbued him with the power of the Infinity Stones, and he literally, it was like a fucking big ass glowing rainbow thing.
Well,
Each
that's
rock,
interesting.
each rock was like a different color, and he was imbued for a certain amount of time with like the entire power. Like he himself was an Infinity Gauntlet.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's because I believe in that storyline that was they were going with that it was power cosmic that gave them their powers. So something that has a power cosmic, so that allowed him to adapt and absorb that. Like, man, I just gotta say the continuity goes fucking insane with these characters off rip. But yes, so they're up in the air, got hit with the cosmic rays. We don't know if it was Galactus or if it was just a cosmic storm that happened to that they happened to get run into. Oh, there was one thing that I saw that it was actually they said the cosmic waves it was actually from the Phoenix Force. Like the Phoenix Force had just been birthed or gone by them or something like that, and it was off. It was all like the spray off from the Phoenix Force entering that dimension or some shit like that. That's another storyline that I also heard about them, about their powers. I don't know.
Okay.
So it goes many different directions when it comes to the origins. But yeah, so they get hit with these rays. No matter where the rays come from, they got hit with some rays, and they ended up getting powers. Now we got Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, super smart and super essentially supposed to be super adaptable and everything. Now he has the power to stretch his body into incredible lengths and shapes. And now, got his wife, Sue Storm, Sue Storm Richards, also known as the Invisible Woman. She has the power to literally like turn herself invisible. Not just invisible, but she can create invisible force fields, invisible blast. Like if she wanted to, she could literally create a mini force field inside of your body and then expand it if she wanted to.
Pop.
Yep. And then of course we just talked about him, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, the power to generate flames and use those flames to fly. And then we have Ben Grimm, the monstrous thing, who, as we all know, he became a giant rock monster. His strength is increased, durability increased. Like I'd say, like his and this goes to say something. On countless occasions, Ben and Bruce have gone toe to toe on numerous occasions, and Ben has walked away without a scratch.
You said Ben and who?
Ben Grimm, the Thing, has gone up against the Hulk on multiple different occasions, and the Thing has walked away without a scratch.
So I
Not saying he won. Not saying he's won, but I'm just saying as an ode to his level, this man can take punches from the Hulk.
In measuring the strength of the thing, yeah, he could give. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, he gives Hulk run for his money on a regular basis until Hulk gets pissed off, and then it's over. There's a whole storyline where what happened?
No, I'm just laughing. That was funny, and then it's over.
Yeah. There's I forget their storyline. Somebody had died, and it was really fucking with the Hulk, and actually made the Hulk sad. He actually cried, and he was about to blow up on somebody because somebody had said something off, and then thinks at the front, he's like, "Go ahead, hit me," and he allowed Bruce to let out all his anger on him to the point where he just turned back to Bruce. Like, so yeah, he can, like, ranging his strength and his durability. Like I said, he and the Hulk. What do they call them? Brothers of Destruction. Brothers of Destruction. And when people run that duo thing in Hulk, they call them Brothers of Destruction and Marvel Rivals because they're a problem. They are most definitely a problem. But yeah, so now what is if because when they were first released, they were known as Marvel's first family. They were the first family of superheroes within Marvel Comics. And what that was like, it was Fantastic Four #1. The cover date is in, like, what was it? I think it was like 1961 or something like that. And this is for all of you who don't know, and if you don't know, that's okay. You know, we're not all comic book fans here, but this is a Jack Kirby and Stan Lee original, right? So for those of you who don't know, this is the two OGs of Marvel Comics created this family here.
The man and the king. The man and the king.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, when it comes to, you know, them calling these guys like Marvel's first family, like where do you stand on that?
So, I mean, compared to who else though? Like, there is no other Marvel team that is a quote unquote family to that extent. Like,
Yeah, I mean, not really. Like,
I mean, in my opinion, I think the Fantastic Four makes Johnny Storm grow up. The Fantastic Four imbues Susan Storm with a lot of parental focus and a lot of guidance and a lot of power because she becomes a mother and she actually goes on to be a very nurturing figure and a very, very guiding figure because Reed Richards is often distracted with the shit he's dealing with. And, you know, Ben Grimm has always been looked at as like the quote unquote muscle of the team, but it's also one of the things like where there's also a lot of humanity in his character, which you see explored through the things he does and the way he carries himself. So I think as far as like them being considered the first family, is that an accurate statement? Yes. Is the family depiction of them shown well to me? No.
yes, there's no like family dynamic. It's like not like a household family. You know what I mean?
Which I honestly I thoroughly agree with that. You know, we see them as a unit a lot of the times, but we don't often see them as a family. And you know, this is something I definitely want to touch on later in a little bit when we actually start talking about first steps. You know, like you said, you never really get to see them as like a family. At least even when Franklin comes along, we don't really see them as a family. At least, again, I was going to point out in the earlier renditions of the Fantastic Four. Later, later down the line, like I said, and that's one of my favorite storylines, hands down, one of the best Marvel comic book storylines within the last, I'd say within the last decade. The King in Black, at the end of that, you definitely see that family dynamic, because they get pit against each other, like seriously, like damage is done to their family in King in Black. Was it Johnny gets taken over, as well. Johnny and Thing both get taken over. Franklin and his siblings are off on another planet, and they're out there holding shit down on their own. They don't. Mommy and Daddy can't come and save them. And then Reed is the only one that hasn't been taken over. I forgot what Sue was doing. But yeah, they so I definitely agree. They really don't have that film dynamic as a unit. Yes. And I don't know, but I definitely agree with that part you said about Ben, with him having having the most humanity, yet being the one who looks the less the least human of them all.
Absolutely, I agree.
Well, that's another thing with their abilities to me too. It's like that's the thing I think that's very interesting, because I think their powers are parodies to their personalities, just like the Ninja Turtles are with their weapons.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
If you look at Johnny, he's young, he's impulsive, he's hot-headed, right? Look at Reed, he's the man of a million minds. He's always pulling himself too thin, stretching himself too thin, trying to solve the world's problems,
Yeah, but he can wrap his mind around any problem.
Exactly. Or at least that's what he wants to, and that's what he wants to portray himself as. We have Ben, who is, always been, he's again, like you just said, he's the most human out of them all, that although he doesn't look that, human at all. And I think what was Sue's thing? Oh, she just wants to protect her family. So hence being able to create force fields and stuff like that.
Well, I think it's also like the another thing too is like Susan is a woman in a very male dominated world. Like you look at the men she was involved with.
Yeah, she's introverted.
Are we going to bring that up? Are we going to touch on that?
I don't know where you're going with this. Where are you going?
Give me a second. Before I say what I want to say, let me fact check myself. Continue. I'll fact check myself. You continue. And
like you look at like the whole thing, like how Dr. Doom was in love with her. It was attracted to her. Namor had fallen for her and thought she was beautiful. And it's like how Reed Richards himself, like that's the love of his life. So it's like she is surrounded by a lot of powerful men. So it's one of those things where her abilities become invisible, but yet she shows herself in the forefront as a very strong female character. So like there's a very strong irony in that to me.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing she can do is disappear, yet she is so seen by everyone else around her.
Yeah, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even so much talking about like just like her physical characteristics as it is so much like her brains, as it is so much everything she brings to the table, her will and drive as a mother, and then her own recognition and status as a hero. So like when you look at it from that aspect, it's like cool. Like Johnny, the whole thing with him being able to control, manipulate fire. Like you said, Johnny's hot-headed. Johnny is impulsive, but Johnny's also a loving brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a devoted uncle. So it's like they said, like in Avatar, like the whole thing with firebending.
Yep, it's something that can take, but it can also, but it's not a destroyer. It's light, something like that. It brings warmth. It's something that's dangerous and can take life. I'm trying to remember what's his name? Aang's first firebending teacher.
Zuko?
No. That's his last firebending teacher. when he first tries to learn firebending and he burns Katara's hand.
Oh. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Was it Go? That's what you're talking about, right, Triage? That scene, because that's the scene when they talk about it, because he learned firebending, but then he started playing around with it.
Yeah,
and that's how Katara got hurt.
He has to keep the ember from the leaf from reaching the edges.
Yes. Yeah. I was going on the whole thing with like how it's more life, and it has a different type of energy. It's warmth. It's all these things. It's not just used to destroy. A spark is a good thing, like, you know, but the wildfire is not.
Yeah.
So that's Johnny's whole thing. Like I said, the whole thing of Ben Grimm and his humanity. My thing with Reed Richards was like how they talk about how you guys said how he's pulled in all these different directions. He sees all these things. Like, what is your thing with water?
Water can flow around anything.
Water can flow or water can crash. You put water into a cup, it becomes a cup. You put water into a teapot, it becomes a teapot.
As Bruce Lee says.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with Richards is that Richards is a problem solver. That's his biggest thing. He sees a problem. He sees something he doesn't understand. He needs something that needs to be fixed, and he tackles it head on. But the problem is that he throws himself so far into his work, he can become amassed with the problem so much that he becomes blinded to other problems.
Yeah. I would say on the verge of like obsessed with it.
Well, yeah. So look at the whole thing, all the efforts he's done to try to get Ben Grimm to control his abilities the way they do. He's wanted him to be able to turn it on and off, if not cure him. And it's like that's something that Reed Richards has tried several times to do and has always failed.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Von Doom has pulled that off, though.
Yeah. I was waiting for it. But yeah, I'm gonna jump in and say Sue was a little bit of a harlot.
Ooh.
A little bit. She be stepping out. She been stepping out. Because we got Doom.
Don't let her hear you say that.
Her Namor was an on and off again thing. So it's not like, oh, Namor wanted her and she was like, nah, fuck out of here. Nah, there was a thing. There was a thing, then it wasn't a thing, then it was a thing, then it wasn't a thing. And that's why Namor is like, Mama, when you coming back to Poppy? You know what I'm saying? You know, you've been with the white man too long. Where you at?
That's insane.
Yo.
I'm sorry. I'd hear your character's commentary when you load into a match with Sue Storm. That man is on her back.
I'm just saying, man. Everybody likes to. I'm from upstate New York, so I like to play in the snow. Sue me.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying too much now. This man Namor was enjoying getting him invisible blowjobs. He don't even know where she at. All he just sees the bubbles pop up. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh.
Insanity.
Yo.
Oh, Reed up there getting the gawk, but Namor getting the blub. Oh God! Hold on. This thing got sound effects. Since y'all asses don't want to laugh. But not just Namor though. Doom. That's a regular thing. Like there's been multiple times that her and Doom, but Doom was a don though, because Doom also had Storm at one point too. By Storm's choice. I just want to let that know. By Storm's choice. Right? I'm pretty sure this is after she left T'Challa, after they got divorced. But there wasn't she had messed around with Forge at one point too, And she was also married to Black Panther before he got married to before him and Stone got married.
Well, that's not talking about Doom.
No, her and Doom was a quick thing. It was a quick thing. And that's where we get that if you play Marvel Rivals, that dark outfit where she got the spikes and all the straps and everything like that.
Oh, the Malice one. Yes.
Malice,
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's from her time when she was getting the Doom dick.
I'm gonna need you to never say that again. I'm gonna need you to never say that again.
Yeah.
The dick of Doom.
That is insanity. But well, no,
they're all clips.
Well, look at it from this aspect too. It's also like you said. You know, we've seen everybody in the fucking multiverse has seen a relationship fail because someone ignored their partner.
Yeah, shit. That's a life thing. That's art imitating reality right there.
So it's like you got to figure Reed Richards. If you look at all the shit that he's dealt with and all the stuff that he quote unquote tackles and tries to bring on himself, like you, excuse me, you have a partner who's just as intelligent, just as forefront, just as righteous as you are, and who's ignored by you. I mean, who you're ignoring, what do you think the outcome is going to be? And this is a woman who actually has been sought out by other men. Like, ain't more going to be known, son. Like, if you fuck up, son,
I'm in there. I'm in there. Man, I'm in there like these Speedos on me right now. I'm in there.
Doom has been actively trying to take her from him. Listen,
since before they got powers. Doom
knew Sue so well that Doom knew she had been replaced with a Skrull.
And yeah, and Reed didn't. Reed had no fucking clue.
That's crazy.
Yes, I forgot about that. About that. And the whole the Secret Invasion storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And Doom knew. He didn't say shit at first. But when shit went to shit, he was like, oh yeah, you've been fucking a Skrull, bro. What? No.
That speaks volumes to that situation right there. Like your most hated rival knew your wife had been replaced and you didn't. That's insanity,
bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Same situation with Scott, Jean, and fucking Madeline. It's like, bro, how you not know that your shorty been replaced?
Hold on, that's not the same.
I know it's slightly different. It is slightly different, but I'm just saying sure I'll be able to feel if it's different or not.
Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about right now?
I'm like, listen, all right, so let's put it this way, right? If Dragoness Kali, right, my wife, right, if she had been replaced at all, clone, Skrull, alien, mimic, replicator, whatever. I've been with her so long and I know her so well, I'd be able to tell.
Nigga, you're telling me if your wife got replaced by a fucking psychic copy of herself, like literally a carbon copy of herself who is a telepath, that she's gonna not know what you know and not know what she knows? That doesn't make no fucking sense. Opposed to her being changed by a fucking alien that looks like her. That's two totally different things.
Because I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be something wrong. Because here's my thing: my wife is so damn unique, and I know every man says that. Right? But my wife is so unique that in order to replicate her, I'm talking way of thinking and everything, bruh. That's it's not possible. It's not possible. Scott, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and Jean should have been giving him the benefit of the doubt. I feel like she's just being petty at this point. I mean, granted, I can't get mad. He did have a baby with her though, so she got a right to be mad for a little bit longer. But like, Reed had no choice. You were the smartest man in the goddamn world. Air quotes.
In my air quotes, yeah.
Yeah.
And like these scrolls really weren't being too slick about it. If I remember correctly from when I read it, they really weren't being too slick about it. Because the difference is a scroll, like, all right, you're okay. I'll give you that. Yeah, there's a big difference between Scott, Jean, Madeline in this situation. The scroll aren't psychic. You know what I mean? They're not downloading, the person's knowledge. They have to learn that person the same way everybody else has to learn. Read it, dumbass. So caught up in his work that he didn't realize. But again, that just goes to show, you know what I'm saying, that Doom was ready. Doom was ready. And I remember that scene. Like in my mind, I see it as like they was talking shit back and forth, blah blah blah, and Doom's like, oh really? Well, at least I'm not the one sitting here fucking an alien. And my wife walks in as I say fucking an alien. That's lovely.
That's crazy.
Jeez, that's lovely. The one thing that you walk in on is your husband yelling, I'm not the one fucking an alien. That's lovely.
All right.
My bad. That was insanity just now. The look I just got was like, whoa. But yeah. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I can only imagine how that scene just played out for my wife just now. Okay. Anyways, but yes. So you're right. He was the only one that knew that Sue had been replaced.
And it's one of the things, like I said, when you see like their powers and how it shaped them and how it's defined them, and this is one of the things that, like, after getting their abilities, Reed Richards went as far as establishing an organization and then having them establish a base of operations, which is the Baxter Building in New York City, and how it basically became like a whole thing, like sort of like the Fantastic Four became to New York what Luke Cage was to Harlem. Like, if you could come to the Fantastic Four with a problem or an issue that needed their type of attention, they would do their best to help, and they did it free of charge. Now, the only thing I always thought that was weird was I have never actually seen them work in unison. I feel like the way they should.
You're on something. You're on something right there.
Yeah, you're on something.
So you see, like, the way the X-Men fight.
They're coordinated. They work. They run together as a team.
Very, very coordinated. Like, even like with the little shit, like you see, like with the fastball special, or the way they channel their powers together. Like that thing, like where Cyclops was fighting, and Bishop goes, "Yo, hit me!"
Charge me up.
Right, and then he just fucking redirects the massive optic blast. So it's like, I don't see the Fantastic Four do that and do it well.
So I feel if you were to take that aspect, let's run it back to the first live action movie for them. Like we see that, like we see a little bit of that at the end, right? We see them use their powers. Ben kicks off the fire hydrant. Reed redirects it by turning into a big ass funnel. While Johnny goes supernova, and Sue contains his supernova so he doesn't fucking kill everyone with the force field. And they melt Doom's armor. Reed cools him down. Super cools him with the water. And that quip, they could have did better with Reed's little quip at the end. All that. He's like, so Victor. He said,
like a little.
What did he say? He said, "Hey Doom, what happens when you superheat metal, and then it rapidly cools?" And then he's like, "You're about to find out." could have been a little bit better with it, but we don't really get to see that. And but I think it also might be a situation of their powers and how their powers work, and maybe even so their knowledge of their powers. Right? They're so very different. You see what I'm saying?
No, I understand, but it's also one of those things like that type of stuff comes in time, and it's always like a lot of versions we see of them. They're still novice to their abilities, but if you've watched First Steps shows that they were established for a while.
Yeah, which is cool.
So this First Steps actually went as far as like skipping the origin and sort of like showing you in a montage or some kind of like retconning the whole thing, opposed to being like, you know, you already know what the story is. We're going to show you some notes just to make sure that we're on the same page, and then they just jump from there.
You know, want to know what that felt like though, and the whole montage scene. It felt like the intro to the '90s animated series, because that's what that's if you go back and take a look at the '90s animated series, the intro, that's exactly what the intro is. It's literally a montage and breaks down their origins real fast for you.
That's cool.
And then it opens up and it's like, oh, this is where we are. You know, and now that we're talking about First Steps, yes. Oh my God. All right. Overall consensus, Jay. First Steps.
I thought it was well done. The pace of the movie was good. I did like how, like you said, they touched on their origin story, but didn't focus on it because everybody already knows. And the actual fighting, I thought was very good. But I think that something that lacks is like communication while they're fighting.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's also a thing that, you know, like Triage was just bringing up now, because we're seeing a more seasoned, or we're seeing a more seasoned. So now they don't even have to communicate; they know the protocol. You know what I mean? They've been doing it so long; they know the protocol, right, Triage?
Yeah, so I will agree. Like you said, even if we don't get the verbal conversation, like the actual combat should reflect that. Now, once again, I get it, because maybe they look at it as reinsurer scientists first. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you think of Reed Richards like Donatello, his go-to is always going to be to use his mind first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not going to be to punch something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God! Thank you for saying that. Go ahead.
And then even like Sue Storm. Sue Storm is, and this is another thing too. Like, was I the only one that took from this that Sue Storm was not a leader?
No, that was the point. That was the point of it, because so they did that in order to show emphasis on how on the fact that, like you said, Reed gets so stuck and trapped in whatever project he's working on that it's up to Sue to step in and take that lead role, because Reed is so distracted all the time. But it also makes sense, as her being the mother of the group, that she's taking charge, she's taking lead. You go do here, you go do there, because honestly, I can't trust y'all motherfuckers to do anything without me. You got this one over here obsessing over this next project. Ben over here being all doom and gloomy and shit like that because he's still a goddamn rock. Johnny over here trying to fuck everything that walks. So it's like, no. We got shit to do, people. Bring it together. So I definitely see that as the reason why they did that and made her such a strong lead. Plus, I feel like a slight agenda push on it, but at the same time, I feel like it was done in a positive way. It was done in a good way. It wasn't like over pushy on it. but it was definitely like, yo, listen, this chick, she pregnant and still out here calling the shots, making moves, getting the goddamn job done.
Listen, the second she jumped on that table and was like, Johnny, kill her. And he goes, are you serious? He's like, yo, she's trying to take your nephew. Kill her.
Yeah,
I was,
bro. Ooh, you made me stand up on my seat with that part. Ooh, exactly.
Just watching that, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
He said, kill her. And they're
Yeah.
like, mind you, now I wasn't expecting her to say that because they're heroes. But again, I felt like there was such a level of all right, this may be this, yes, exactly, compassion. But we may be watching a movie about motherfuckers with superpowers. Dude can go on, light himself on fire, stretch, go invisible, be a giant rock monster and shit like that. They're flying through fucking space. They literally kissed the asshole of a black hole.
That's insanity.
And made it out. But on the other hand, one moment. But on the other hand, we're seeing all this crazy and amazing shit. But at the end of the day, in that scene, we see a mother protecting her child by any means necessary. Fuck my morals. Fuck what everyone thinks. We in space. They're not even gonna know that we murked this bitch out. We in space. Ain't nobody gonna know. Who gonna know? Who gonna tell? You gonna tell? I'll take your ass out too.
Well, but that's also one of them. But that's also one of them things. Like, it's are you peaceful or are you harmless? Now I know,
Exactly.
Power, you stayed in the same boat with me. We both agree peace is a lie. But my whole thing is like you can only
in the garden. I want to be the warrior in the garden.
you can only call yourself peaceful is if you are someone who is capable of violence.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not someone who is capable of violence, you're not peaceful. You're harmless.
Exactly. Exactly. There were so many scenes in this movie, and Jay, I'm pretty sure that you can agree with me that again, it didn't feel like I was watching a superhero movie. I felt like I was watching a family trying to figure out the best way out of a shitty situation.
Yeah. Yes. I understand what you mean. Yeah.
And but these two to me too, like they still this movie too to me, it still did not give me the family look I'm expecting from them. I don't know why. I just didn't. And
Really?
I got the whole thing, like, that Sue and Reed are together and they're the couple, but it's like they didn't give me that. Like, to me, it wasn't full on family vibes. I don't know. Like I said,
No, because you could also tell that Sue and Reed were going through some shit.
well,
They were they actually, you can tell, like, it's not. I don't think they ever actually have that conversation in the movie, but you can tell by the way that they act towards each other, react to certain things. One person says this, the other person, the way they reply, that their marriage is actually in a situation of strain. That's what I got from it. They're looking at each other, and like Sue's at the point where she's like, I am tired of your shit, essentially. And is like no longer sugarcoating it because she loves him. It's more so of, yeah, I love you, but guess what? I need to be honest with you. You're on some bullshit right now. That's what I got from this. All the while, Johnny and Ben are just in the background trying not to get in it. You know what I'm saying? Those awkward silences. Like when they sat down at the table, before she revealed to Reed alone that she was pregnant. You know what I mean? They were like in the room or whatever, and they were talking, but they were like real short with each other.
Yeah. I guess I didn't really pay that much attention now until you just said that. But like you said, I got the fact that they were going through shit, but it's also one of the things like where. But I think this is why the whole thing with them, quote unquote, already being established worked against them. So this is like the same issue I think like Ben Affleck had playing Batman in the DC universe. Like I actually liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he was actually really good in that part. But
Agreed.
the fact that he was established and no one else was hurt the material.
Oh,
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
So it's like you figure you had Ezra Miller being the Flash, and he was just figuring shit out. Jason Momoa was just becoming Aquaman. Like everybody else was just becoming who they were, opposed to him who's been running around Gotham City beating crack addicts and then drug dealers and prostitutes for 50 years. To me, I'm just saying.
Literally.
Not even Superman. Even Superman, because I'm pretty sure like Bruce and Clark are around the same age, or if not the same age.
Right?
So they like by the time Bruce was full on Batman, Clark should have been full on Superman. Because there's a whole storyline where you end up finding out that they actually ran into each other as kids years ago because Alfred caught a flat on the way back to Gotham when it was going through Smallville. And the Kents helped him out.
Correct.
But I definitely see what you're saying, because like even for me, it felt like when it came to like I said, the whole situationship between them, Reed and Sue, it felt like as a viewer, I stepped into some shit. I stepped into a room where two people had just got done arguing, and I was like, "Ooh, it's a bad time." You know what I'm saying? There's a few moments I was like, "Ugh." And again, like I said, for me being able to see that, I was like, "Ooh." I don't know. What about you, Jay? What did you pick up on any of that at all, or was it just me?
Well, no, I mean I did. I didn't really pick up, like you were saying before, how Johnny and Ben were really short with each other before Reed and Sue walks in to like
No. It was so up in the room before they went down for dinner. I believe it was actually it's actually the scene where Sue tells Reed. And again, as somebody who just had a baby, right? Who just went through that experience, so it definitely resonated with me on a deeper level. When I saw that little test, when I saw that little stick, like shit, I was in general like shock with joy, with like an astounding joy underneath. Yet, mind you, she knows, he doesn't yet, and they're upstairs in the room while they're getting ready for dinner and stuff, and they're being short with each other. You know, one word responses. They're not even looking at each other when they're talking to each other, right? Or more so, it's Reed not looking at Sue when Sue's talking to him, or when he's talking to her. He's talking to her while he's doing his own thing, not even paying attention, to the point where she literally has to walk into the bathroom, stand in front of him, and hold up the test. And then in that moment, instead of saying, "Oh, great! Oh my God, this is amazing!" First thing he does, "All right, well now we gotta prepare. Now we gotta figure out this. Now what if they have powers? Now we gotta think about what their powers may be, if they have any powers whatsoever." And she's like, "Motherfucker, we having a baby. Forget about all that shit. Can you just be?"
I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. A lot of people would just think that he's looking for the aloe iodine and just oblivious, and
See,
I don't know.
I
get what you're
agree.
saying, though. I get what you're saying.
No, I agree with you. At first, I thought it was going to be like a cute moment of him just off in his own mind, doing his own thing. Babe, where's this? Where's that? Blah, blah, blah. And not really hearing saying until she's like, boom, ta-da. And then he's like, then he's like, huh? Oh, you what? For real? Oh my God. What? Oh, No, but it wasn't like that. It was hey.
Did you notice the fact that the only reason that Sue got pregnant was because they got their powers?
Oh.
Whoa, hold on. Run that back for me. Because I think I caught that, but I wasn't 100%. I'm not 100%. I think I caught that though. Run that for me, Jay.
The only reason Sue Storm got pregnant was because they got their powers. They had tried for 2 straight years to have a baby, and they never could do it before this.
Oh yeah.
That does make sense actually. Then once again, power cosmic. But here's the thing too. So, and I'm gonna jump ship real quick and switch material. All right. So look at Reed Richards real quick. Reed Richards, if nothing else, is a man of science, right?
Yep.
Now, we argue that Reed Richards is the quote unquote smartest man. Now, question. Look at who would you say the smartest female is in the Marvel universe?
Shuri.
Shuri is another one. Shuri is the exact same way. Now, we've all seen Wakanda Forever, correct?
Yep. My
So, yeah. Oh. So when Shuri drinks the artificial herb and she goes to the ancestral plane, who does she see?
Unjadaka.
And Njadaka said, "You didn't believe the ancestral plane was real, did you? You didn't think none of this shit was real." And she goes, "No, not really." But that's because she's a woman of science.
Mm-hmm.
If she can't read it, see it, taste it, touch it, or feel it, correct it, or solve it, or have it explain it, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You pray to a deity and worship Bast and go Bast this, Bast that, Bast this, Bast that, and yet you ain't even really believe in Bast, and your brother's her avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a similar prospect with Richards. Now think about it like this: we all seen the aspects of their powers, correct?
Yeah.
Now, all of them are in full control of their abilities. What if the Infinite had a power and wasn't?
Mm-hmm. Which again makes 100% sense. Like I said, he was 100% logical in that moment, and I guess that's where Sue was like, "This is the problem. You're being logical about this." In a moment where, you're
thinking about this in a science way when you have to think about it in like a love way, like a family way.
Exactly. You're using your brain right now, Reed, when you should be using your heart.
Yes.
You're 100% right. That's why he was like that, because that's a serious problem.
But like he said, this could have been like he didn't know how their abilities would have affected the baby or the cosmic radiation. Who's to say what the child would have looked like or how it would have been?
Mm-hmm. Like maybe we all that's why he was so worried.
Which makes sense. So it's like, you want to sit here and go, "Oh, let's just hope for the best." Nah, I'm gonna be prepared for the worst.
Because that's the saying, prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah. So him thinking, and the logical person thinking logical, and that's worst case scenario logic, is what he's going to do, because that's what he is. That's what he does.
Yeah. Now, if you think about it, that whole energy runs all the way through that scene. Like I said, there's that shortness. Now Sue's feeling some kind of way about the whole situation. And one thing I know for sure is you do not want to piss off a pregnant woman or fuck with them in any kind of way when it comes to a situation like that, because it does it really, and not even on a funny tip, like on a serious tip, it really does, like, it took me having to go through it to realize, oh, this shit is true. There's a lot that goes on emotionally, mentally, physically as well. We think emotionally because, oh, it's all emotional changes. No, it's physical changes.
It's everything.
The emotional change. Physical changes are causing the emotional change. But now she's sitting there at the table, and that's how Ben was able to pick up on everything. But clearly, understandable, Johnny is, he's kind of like not really putting two and two together. He's off in his own world. But Ben, he's looking at them like, what's going on here? Hold up. Johnny, shut the fuck up. Hold on. Something's going on here. What the problem is? There's something off between you two. What are you not telling us? But see, and this is something that I've always liked about Ben's character, at least within the recent years. Because again, I didn't read a lot of Fantastic Four, like the older Fantastic Four books. I'm pretty sure I have like the full volumes. Like I got them from a friend. It's like all the Fantastic Four comic old ones in like single big ass thick ass volumes. But he's always been the one in the background paying attention. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you said, he's the heart. When shit ain't running right, or people or things aren't connecting right, he's the one that's stepping in. Like, whoa, hold up, cut your bullshit, Understand something now. This cannot be happening. You know what I'm saying? And he knows his best friend very, very well, and he's been around his best friend's wife, who he also, as we know, canonically has feelings for. You know what I mean? He knows her very well too, but he's been in the background of the relationship so long that he not only knows them individually, but he knows their relationship, right? He knows their relationship, and in that moment, he picked up on, "Fuck's going on? Y'all hiding something? Reed's acting weird. Sue, you definitely acting weird. A little more grumpier than usual. What's going on? Hold on. What's going on your plate there? Oh, you're not eating. Oh, you're pregnant, ain't you? Oh, you having a baby? Hold up. Something. Hold on. What's going on here? You having a baby, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love, the fact that, again, he is such that genuine best friend in the background, right? But at the same time, if I wanted to play devil's advocate, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot right now. If I wanted to play devil's advocate with the situation, right, I could also go with the fact that, because I've been this guy, just hanging out around a relationship because you know it's gonna fall apart at some point, and you're just waiting for it to fall apart because you got that shoulder for her to cry on.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, girl, I can't believe he did that. I don't know. I would never do that to you.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so as a devil advocate side, I can see him chilling, watching things, seeing the shit that Reed's fucking up on, and him doing the things that Reed's fucking up on, being there for her, paying attention to her, knowing what she likes, what she dislikes. You know what I'm saying? But in the background, hey, I'm just being a good friend.
So you can tell like, no, all he's doing is offering dick. Don't be that guy. You seem like oh, well, Reed hurt your feelings. How about some dick? Oh, so you need to lift the generator. How about some dick? Like, oh. So somebody to babysit the kids, huh? How about some dick? that's what you're implying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's literally going to get to the point where she's going to be sitting somewhere upset, and he's just going to be like, "So, how about some dick?" That's what you're saying, motherfucker. Now,
dick for your troubles.
So fucked.
Dick for your troubles.
oh god!
They say me and Rita getting divorced. This nigga gonna hop up. It's clobbering time.
Yeah. But even then, son, like I don't. Just like you saw the heart of the team with Ben. Like I didn't like this rendition of Johnny by no means. That's not the Johnny Storm I grew up reading about. That's not the Johnny Storm I grew up watching in the cartoons. Like that was very far from the Johnny I was expecting. Well, maybe it's also because, like I said, the Fantastic Four has made him grow up.
Yes, this is definitely a more mature Johnny.
And I think that whole reference when he saw Galactus coming back through the portal, like you said, it goes back to that scene in the comics from the Negative Zone, because right before he caused the supernova and sealed it, he literally says to Ben, "Yo, tell Franklin and Valerie, I want to say Sue Marie's daughter's name is, like, you know, to make sure that they know that their uncle loved them." So him being like, "Yo," like, you know, sacrificing everything for his family shows that This isn't the impulsive kid that we knew way back when. He's grown up. He's become an adult. He's finding his own path. And even then, like you watch in the movie, like he even says it, like, yo, make sure Franklin knows I love him. And he goes charging towards Galactus for the Surfer to smack him away.
Yeah. Yep. But even then, at the dinner table as well, before I bring it back to the scene, because I really enjoyed this scene, he was talking about how he wanted to settle down and stuff like that. How he, was interested in finding somebody and stuff like that. He mentions it a few times throughout this film, and we see that that his interest gets speaked by Shalabal. In that aspect, after, but I also like the rendition that they went with the fact that Johnny isn't just that kid brother, that he himself too is also like smart and within his own aspect of science. I do like that they stick with that because all right, so the first live action Johnny, he was an engineer, and that's why he was a part of the project, because he was in charge of making sure the shit took off.
Yeah, he was part of the flight planning and stuff somehow.
Yep. Ben was the pilot. He was the one that was supposed to fly the shit. Reed, the head scientist, and then Sue was in charge of because there was an experiment that they were supposed to do while they were out there, and that's what she was in charge of.
It was
Genetics.
plants.
Yeah, plant genetics. Did you guys ever play the game for that movie that ties in with that movie?
What, the original one?
Yeah.
Wait, which are we talking about? The one like with Chris Evans?
Yeah.
Years ago for a bit. I never really got into it.
I actually did. I actually got real close to finishing it, if not beat it. Like there's like into the films. It happens in the game as well. So like, remember that plant that they brought up there with them too?
Yeah,
that got hit with them. That was the whole point. They were bringing that up there to see how the cosmic rays affected the plants.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward to the game, that plant also crash landed. It came back with them, but it got mutated just like them. And then you actually end up having to fight the fucking plant and shit in one of the levels. It's fucking crazy. It was a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, at least at the time. It's probably garbage, and I just thought it was good. But yeah, they keep sticking with with that fact that Johnny's just not the kid brother anymore, not just the hothead anymore. He is an actual scientist. Though the Chris Evans, they still gave him those personas and shit like that, those personality traits, but they still made him a genius in his field. And then here within this, we get the more mature Johnny. We get to see him doing work within his field, which was, I'm pretty sure it was sound. Like that was his thing for some reason. Like sound was his thing. They never like specified exactly what he was, but like he's gone to college, went to school, got degrees and shit like that. He's not, and I'm pretty sure we're doing this on purpose without doing it on purpose. But we're skipping a whole fucking live action iteration.
I'm sorry, what?
Do you want to shit on it? Do you want to shit on it? Can we shit on it?
Shit on what?
The Bruno of Fantastic Four.
Said, we don't talk about Bruno. No. We don't talk about Bruno. 7-foot freak rats along his back.
7-foot frame, rats on down his back. When he calls your name, it all turns to black. I have a 6-year-old, okay? I know these songs. But yeah, so fuck it, I'm gonna just do it. Fan 4-stick. Tragedy and hot steaming space garbage shit.
Listen, my balls itch now. Jesus Christ. Oh God.
Fanforstic
Wow.
is the itch underneath Triage's balls.
So here's the wild part too, because that movie actually had
Had
some
potential.
decent some decent potential. But just Miles, I want to say it was Miles Teller playing Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think also the thing that hurt that movie too is because, like I said, them redoing it the way they did it,
Goofy.
it was goofy. I don't know, like just like the whole thing, like the everything that they tried to do and the way they went about doing it, it was just weird.
It was
Like
like,
the
Yeah.
it was like, I was like, all right, I guess they got tired of the regular stereotypical, always going back over the origin story. Cool. That doesn't mean throw the fucking origin story out. That's not what that means.
well, hold on. Even if that was the case, if they were going to do something different, they should have did something better. And
That's what I'm saying. It's like they decided, well, you know what? Fuck their origin story. Let's see. Let's do our own thing. No. Yep. Johnny is Sue. Yep. They're still brothers. They're still brothers and sisters. Not really, though. Their dad's black, and it's Sue that's actually the one that got adopted. Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
No damn sense. Fucking Reed is a high school dropout. No, Ben's a high school dropout. Come on now. It should have made no fucking sense. No goddamn sense. And the fact that the other two, because if I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Sue didn't go with them the first time when they took that trip. It was Victor. It was the boys because they were all getting drunk. It was all the men. It was Victor. It was Ben, Johnny, and Reed. They were getting all fucking drunk because their funding just got pulled, so they're all getting drunk and shit. And then they decide to step in the fucking machine, take the machine for a ride, while being drunk.
So
Lo and
smart.
behold, of course, yeah, of course, you know, a bunch of drunk men doing something that they know they're not supposed to do. It always ends bad with one of them getting hurt and or being or dying. All right. And then what Doom gets his power for being on what is it? What kind? What they don't even know what the substance on that planet was that irradiated Victor. They even gave him his powers. What the fuck was his powers to begin with in that one? Was fucking Tara's brother, where he's fucking, it's fucking Toph's new apprentice, fucking controlling rock and shit.
The movie was so bad that I can't remember it.
This movie was so bad, I do remember it. It was so bad, I do remember it. Like, all right, I didn't have too much of an issue with Thing being a big ass rock monster. I thought that was interesting. I fucks with it. Cool. But everything else, I didn't like the fact that he was naked, though, because the way they did his character design, he can't wear pants. Because that was his big thing. He either had shorts or pants. Because the what's his name? I can't remember his first name. Whatever, Chickless, who played Ben in the first live action, they gave him pants. But like everything about this film was just bad. Like they didn't get their powers until like what, the last 30 minutes of the movie? Or some shit like that. It was fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
God.
First steps, much better. Family dynamic definitely still needs work, but I also think that's also the point of it all as well. Because you remember Triage, you guys got to remember Triage. Jay, you guys got to remember something. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, every time they made a character or they did something that was so stand out within their comics, there was always a reason behind it, right? There was always a reason behind it. And I feel like them being the first air quote family of Marvel, off rip, people are already expecting them to be the perfect family. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you read and you watch, you start to notice, oh, they aren't the perfect family. Reed and Sue aren't the perfect married couple. They're not the perfect parents. Johnny's not the perfect uncle. Ben's not the perfect friend. Because if he was a perfect friend, he wouldn't be having wet dreams about his best friend's wife. Right?
I mean, I guess. I mean, we are going full Brian Griffin with shit.
But you know what I'm saying? I think that's the point. That's the point of the Fantastic Four. They're not a perfect family, but they work because they are a family. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's family is perfect. Shit. Raise your hand in this group if your family's perfect.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure nobody raised their hand just now. And I'm pretty sure that's the whole point when it comes to the Fantastic Four. Like even families with superpowers aren't perfect, but they love each other because they're family, and they still love each other even though nobody's perfect. Johnny pisses Sue off on a regular basis, gets on her nerves. That's what little brothers do. That's what little brothers do. But at the end of the day, somebody run up and try to punch you in the face, that little brother's right there. Hopefully. But even if he's not, you know what I mean? You know, shit happens. Family's not perfect.
Nah, I definitely hear you.
You know? But I feel like so last thing before we head on out of here. Where are we seeing this iteration of the Fantastic Four going?
So, if you've seen the post-credit scene, just like I have, you see that, Sue is reading to Franklin and she gets up for a moment to go do something. And then we look over and who is she come back to find sitting there talking to Franklin? But, spoiler in 3, 2, 1, what appears to be Victor Von Doom. Now, you saw the references earlier to Victor with the Latveria stuff and the whole thing with the United Nations and how.
Yeah.
So it was implied that Victor is out and about in this universe. So if we see the Fantastic Four, it might explain the differences between the main continuity universe of the Foxverse versus the continuity of the MCU. Because there's a few key differences which happen between the universes that make them different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a big I mean, it's not just me that has this theory, but there's a big theory floating around out there that would be comic book accurate when it comes to Doom, but we'll get into that in a second. Continue.
So I think that there's a very good chance we're going to see the Fantastic Four again. I think it's going to be like one of those situations where we see them interact with the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, surviving members of the teams of the heroes, and when they see them, they're going to be like, who are you guys? Like, we're the Avengers. What you mean? Who are we? Who are y'all? Like we're the Fantastic Four. You're who? What now?
What the fuck is that? What makes you fantastic?
So I think it could be as simple as like a conversation, or it could actually turn into a fight. Because once again, while personalities' attentions are running high in the MCU right now, people are going to be more likely to start throwing punches than they are ask questions. I mean,
No, absolutely. Actually, that's what I'm waiting for. Monica Rambeau's X-Men to transition over because we already know the Avengers and X-Men have thrown elbows at each other quite a few times. One thing I'm very interested in, just a side tangent. I need Captain America and I need Cyclops in the same fucking universe. Because that whole shit between them two with the Phoenix Force and Hope and oh my god, Scott becomes a fucking goon. I'm sorry. Continue. Sorry, I just loved. I've been looking at that storyline here and there, and it's fucking amazing. Continue. Sorry.
No. I definitely think it's a very strong possibility of us getting that crossover between the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Whether the Phoenix Force will be involved, we'll wait and see. But it might be one of those things like where they might pull ideas from the material and then see where it's lands. But like, it's also one of the things that we got to remember is that big part is going to play a part. And this also is the X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be one of those things like where they're going to be going to them because, or into the main universe of the MCU because Doom kidnapped Franklin, and now that Franklin's been kidnapped, they need the other heroes help to get him back. Now, when they talk about Doom, they're going to be like, well, Doom can't be that bad. You guys have fought him. You guys have beat him. Well, we've never really beat him. It's just one of those things where he hasn't killed us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always been stalemates. They've never won, but also never really lost. Yeah. Hey, quick question.
But
Within the MCU, they've already talked about anchor points, right?
yeah, I believe
about
so.
Canon events, shit like that.
Wasn't all that touched upon Deadpool?
Yeah. So
I remember hearing about anchor points watching Loki.
yeah, yep. It was brought up in Loki. It was also brought up in season 1 of What If? Remember Strange? Whatchamacallit dying in that car accident was an anchor point. She was supposed to die. She's always supposed to die.
Yeah, losing his heart instead of his hands. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what if Franklin is one of those? I mean, we already know what his powers are, right? Reality. What if he is one of those anchor beings, right? One of those nexus, or like Wanda, a nexus being, right?
Oh, that's why Doom taking him out of the universe or manipulating him causes the unit. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. So I think that might play a big role in all this. But now, so here's the thing. All right, so we got the big bad, and the big bad has a really, really fucking powerful thing on their side that's causing shit to happen, right? So I'd say it will be Doom, and then him taking Franklin or whatever and manipulating Franklin to do X, Y, and Z, right? That would be crazy if they made Franklin the maker instead of Reed. That would be fucking insanity, but would be really fucking cool. So who are the heroes gonna have on their side to even those playing fields? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that Loki, being the god of time now, is gonna play a big part in the decision making about what really happens. Like I think that he's going to be able to make certain things happen. You know what I mean?
I agree. But now here's my thing though. If he's so all powerful, you know what I mean? He is literally holding all the time streams. He's literally holding the multiverse together. He's literally holding everything together.
Yeah.
would he or would he not be that powerful where, and on some like Watcher or Watu type shit, he sees something happening and he can just be like, I don't like that. Erase.
Well,
And just prune that branch on the tree.
Well, I don't think that you can simply just prune time branches, because then it would be bad. But I'm not 100% sure.
Isn't that's something that happened in Loki? They did bring that up. It was like you can't recklessly start pruning shit because it breaks the stability of the timeline.
Yeah, but I think that Loki is going to make it so Thor becomes all powerful.
I don't know. All I know is that they need a reunion. Loki and Thor, I need that reunion.
Remember, he told him that this is not the end of our story.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I don't know. I see the Fantastic Four coming into the MCU again. We don't know who's on the ship. It could be Doom and Franklin. That could have been what happened after that cutscene. A fight ensues. No pun intended. They start scrapping. All right, boom. This is how I'll see it play out. The cutscene ends. She comes back in the room. She sees Franklin talking to Doom. She already knows that's Doom. They've already fought and or fucked in the past, right? She knows that's him.
So not a fought and or fucked. It couldn't have been that he was the rival. It couldn't have been that it had to go straight to her getting the Doom. Never mind. It's fine.
Already said. She's gotten to take a Doom. I'm pretty sure. And so Doom's like, don't be afraid, Franklin. Call me Uncle Victor. Right? And she's like, get away from my kid. Those are the force field, pulls him back, whatever. They start scrapping. The rest of the Fantastic Four, now they all scrapping with Doom. He gets the best of them, as he, normally does. Scoops up Franklin, hops in the ship, uses the ship, and within that whole fight and battle and not, the ship gets, boom, thrown into the different universe via wormhole, however the fuck they want to do it, because apparently there's multiple different ways to go into to get to a different Earth. Apparently, I don't like that. I wish they did have it just like, this is how you get to another Earth. But now we got fucking Spectrum, Photon, whatever the hell you want to call her, Monica, open up rifts in space time. Then you got, Doctor Strange and shit like that. They're all using magic going through space time. It's fucking weird. But again, science is also, magic is just science that we don't understand yet. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm thinking that is Doom and Franklin on that ship. Doom's gonna get there. He's gonna play that card of, we've been running. They've attacked us. This is my nephew. We've been trying to get away from these people that have been chasing us down. Right? We're not from this universe. They're hot on our tail. They're right behind us. Takes the mask off. Everybody's like, oh shit, Tony. It's Tony. You're back, Tony. All right. Now, we ended up only coming to find out that, like I said, I just want to touch on this. It's going to be the last thing that we're going to dip. People are saying that they're going with the shit. I don't remember the name of the storyline, but I'm pretty sure you know what storyline I'm talking about, Triage. So let me know if you remember the name. The storyline of where Tony ends up creating this super city. I was like New York or some shit like that. A super city, super high tech or whatever. This isn't that, blah, 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 blah. This is where he gets his god armor. He finds out that there's a literal giant ass celestial sized suit of armor. It's like a celestial buster.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's where we end up finding out that via this alien, this android, that he's actually a part of Kang's order. He's known as a recorder. His only job is the recorder's only job is to go throughout the universe recording events. And he finds out that this recorder has been recording his life, because he ends up finding out that he is not Tony Stark. He is not even a Stark at all. He was implanted into his mother, into his air quote mother. No. Yep. But he's genetically not Howard Stark's child. He's genetically not his mother's child. His mother just carried him, right? Their actual child ended up being born disabled, like not able to really do anything on their own. So it was his name, Andro or something like that, Stark. Yeah, but we end up finding out that who we know as Tony Stark is not even really a Stark. He was implanted there. He's not really a Stark, whatever. And that, because for a long time he attributed his genius and his prowess, because at first he thought, oh, none of this prowess is mine. I was genetically modified and genetically grown. This, and that, and third, blah, 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 blah. So he's going through this whole thing that I'm not really smart. This, and that. I'm genetically smart. It's not real. Lo and behold, come to find out that he's not the child that she carried. He was actually adopted from an orphanage as a baby.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where are you going with this?
Yeah, he was so whatever they're talking about. So pretty much Howard had made a deal. Howard and what the fuck is Tony's mom's name? Meredith, whatever. Martha. Let's go with Martha, since everyone's mother's name is Martha. They made a deal in order to have a baby with, I forgot who it was. I think it was Kang or somebody. They implanted her with a baby, but the baby was genetically modified, right? It's genetically modified. Howard was like, oh, okay, bet, cool. There's a catch here. There's a loophole here. There's something off here. So what he ended up doing is when that baby was born, the baby's still alive, but it pretty much grew up in a hospital because the baby was actually incredibly sick, incredibly ill, bubble boy style. And in turn, they adopted a child that was the same age as the one that they just gave away. And that one that they adopted ends up being Tony Stark.
Yes, I'm aware. But see, I thought you were going to go more the angle that Doom is actually Franklin's actual dad.
Oh shit! I wasn't going there. I didn't even think about that part. Whoa, whoa.
That's what I thought you were doing. She's out there stepping out on him and sneaking away invisibly and doing the whole invisible man thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Oh no. Listen. Sue she may have been on that Doom dick for a minute there, but in the end, she got right back on the stretch. She had to go back to her man.
That is not. It's not going away. That's not going away.
No, not at all. Not at all. I left it alone. You opened it back up. I left it alone.
I didn't know shit. You're the one saying engine windows and scenarios, those other shit. I was like, oh, here it comes. I'm waiting for it. And then you're like, oh.
Like Sue, I guess.
Oh, God.
Anyways, right? People were thinking that they're going with the storyline that the Tony Stark that was in the main MC universe, the Tony Stark that we know, that we love, that you're cut in a shining condom, is actually not Tony Stark and is in actuality a variant of Victor Von Doom that Kang had ever so lightly just changed the timeline so that Victor Von Doom was adopted by the Starks. That the baby that Howard Stark, swapped out, that baby was actually Victor Von Doom. So Victor wouldn't grow up to be able to challenge him in that universe.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. It's them playing on two different timeline, two different concepts. They're playing on two different concepts.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I see that's a possibility. I can see that as being a possibility, but want to know what else I can also see a possibility of?
What?
He lands, he lifts up the mask, and it's Robert Downey Jr. playing a dude who's disguised as a dude who's playing another dude.
Oh my God.
Instead of being like, oh my God, Tony, he lifts the mask, or like, oh, he's black. Oh, that's all I got for you guys. That's all I got for you guys for tonight. That's all I got for you guys for tonight, man. But no, this shit's about to go crazy. Avengers Doomsday, you better be fucking crazy. Jason, stop feeding into the damn hype. Check those sources, bro. Check those sources. Check them sources, bro. You got me all hype and shit. I'll open my messages. I look at the thing. It was the official poster for Doomsday. I look at it and I'm like, ain't that AI?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I looked at it really quick.
Yeah, because off rip, I was like, oh shit, they dropped it. They dropped it. I got excited. But then I was like, oh, damn. But anyways, when they do drop it, it's just gonna be crazy. It's just gonna be crazy. Because they're probably more than halfway done with production by now.
For Doomsday?
Yeah, for Doomsday.
Oh, well, the trailer's supposed to drop sometime next month. I want to say right before Christmas.
Yeah. I'm pretty. I heard that. Yep. So they usually drop a trailer when the movie's probably about like 75% of the way done. So the first trailer, there's scenes that the trailer scenes are just scenes that they just happen to have shot by then. Because that's usually what they do. What they'll do is a movie is never shot in order, right?
Yeah.
What they do is they'll figure out how they want the trailer to look, and then they'll shoot the scenes that are going to be in the trailer first, and then everything after that is all based on like scheduling. All right, well, when can we get Robert Downey Jr. down here to do his scenes? All right, that's what we can do. When can we get him and her all together to do their scenes?
I can't imagine.
It's fucking insanity.
Yeah.
Let alone after the fact reshoots, because we all know Infinity War before Infinity War dropped. They did reshoots a year later. They called everyone back a year later to do reshoots.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was like a year. It was like 6 months to a year later. It's like, all right, guys, we got to do some reshoots.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, this Marvel is hopefully in hopes about to be back on top, because they were taking a little bit of a fall off there. But I will say they need to stop disrespecting their fucking female characters the way they are with these fucking shows, bro. Like, God, it pisses me off. I feel like the last good, aside from us seeing Invisible Woman being such a badass in First Steps, being a badass mommy in First Steps, like only other badass females that they actually one that they promoted properly, right? That they didn't fuck up, muddy, or water down her story, right? That they didn't character assassinate, and that they didn't have fucking twerking when made the stallion was Wanda. That's the
Uh,
last Marvel character or Marvel product that I felt like they didn't kind of shit on.
well,
I mean, look, they fucking killed off Agatha. Granted, that is a part of her storyline. She is supposed to die, but not that fucking soon.
well, hold
Right?
on. Once again, this is comic book shit. Certain. Well, just because a character dies doesn't mean they stay dead. We've seen that before. But the other thing I was
No,
going to say was,
oh, go ahead.
so the thing I was going to say was, as far as that goes, it's like this is one of the reasons why I said I think this is why they moved her kind of to the forefront with her being the leader in certain calls she was making, shit she was doing. So I think that as far as like the MCU goes, I think that they'll continue to do what they're doing with the Fantastic Four because it's worked so far.
Yep.
Because out of the movies and the live action interpretations, this is the closest we got to the material. Not
Agreed.
the closest we got. Excuse me, not closest to the material. This is the closest we've got to people accepting the material.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Ooh, that is a better way to put that. Yep.
So I think as long as everyone is, eating it up and appreciating it, and it allows them to build and work with these characters, they can do that. Because even then, we just saw this movie, and we already saw Galactus and the Silver Surfer. They showed the Mole Man and a few other villains, but it's just like Iron Man. Like Iron Man's villains fucking suck. Like the Living Laser, like like
Bing
those are
Fang
Crimson
Fury.
Dynamo, shit like that. So it's
Oh,
like
Crimson Dynamite. Holy shit, I forgot about him.
his villains are goofy. Even like the Flash, they had to retcon a lot of the shit they were doing or stuff that was happening to make it work for the material that they were
Yeah.
trying to put out. So
Yeah.
they could do that, but it's one of the things like who's going to be menacing and who's not. What's going to be the goal to stop them? What's going to transpire? What are you going to learn from this? And it's like I thought they were going to start with something a little bit more grounded. You get to see like a glimpse of Galactus, but them going, here he is. He's strolling through New York like a man with no carries. Excuse me, no carries, no cares. And then he goes to go through the portal, and all of a sudden, she just gives this massively insane strain to push him. Like, come on, man. I can't. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Yeah, I feel like they were going with the power of a mother, the power of a mother kind of thing.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I thought it was a
her-
little over exaggerated as well, but I understand what they were doing.
Yeah, like her will to survive, her will to protect her family, her world, her child is what was able to push her above and beyond. Because I mean, we've seen that happen before, especially with Jessica Alba's Invisible Woman. When she pushes her force fields too far and beyond their limits, it does begin to pretty much kill her. Essentially, like she ends up having like an aneurysm in her, and pop blood vessels and shit like that. But again, when you have a kid that can just touch you and bring you back to life, caution to the wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But with that being said, y'all, that has been a super breakdown. We went way fucking longer than we expected, but we also started a little bit later than we expected. But no, this is a great episode. I cannot wait to see what is going to transpire next within the MCU with these characters, these beloved characters within the Marvel universe and the MCU. I need to see more Fantastic Four. I definitely do, because they are actually one of my favorite characters. Quick little honorable mention. Our favorite, and it's so funny that you brought in Black Panther while we're talking about this, because the Fantastic Four is actually when we first get introduced to T'Challa the Black. Oh, no. Is it T'Challa or T'Chaka? I think it's when we first get introduced to T'Challa the Black Panther.
Yes,
And
I believe T'Challa's Black Panther then.
yeah, and then that's when we find about T'Chaka and Bashinga later on then. But yeah, our first introduction to the Black Panther is within Fantastic Four comic, and that's where he ends up he whips all their ass, but they end up getting upper hand on them, and he's like, okay, I need your help because it was Claw, right? Claw was invading Wakanda, and he needed a little extra help.
Oh, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
But he had brought them there to hunt them, and it became like a whole thing. Like he went full predator with this shit. We mean the Yacha, not the other kind of predator. Jesus Christ.
No, we're not talking about it. No, I'm not even gonna mention that person. Not even gonna mention that person. Not even gonna mention that person. He went there to kill them, not diddy them. Let's say that. I was gonna say it that way. I'll put it that way.
Crazy.
Anyways, we love you guys. Please tune in next week. The show's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have a lot of fun again. Stay tuned to our Instagram. We will be letting you guys know what we will be talking about next. Again, keep an ear out. We will be doing a follow-up episode to our last episode, Welcome to Derry, and Pennywise the Dancing Clown. We got some things. We got some things planned for you. We got some people that they want to talk. But yeah, no. So please stay tuned. It's gonna be a great one. I'm Power Maximus. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord's Triage, and the Darth Legacy himself, Jason M40. This has been the Super Breakdown. We love you guys. And again, as always, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Our Maximus drops the mic like Thor's hammer, boom, chasing M40, scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage stitches stories, threads in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind. It's the Super Breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super Breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. We're the narrators of myths, the keepers of old. Anime battles, box office wars. We dig for the gems, open the doors. It's the Super Breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super Breakdown, it's one wild ride. Room. Lord Triage stitches stories, threads in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind. It's the Super Breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super Breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. We're the narrators of myths, the keepers of old. Anime battles, box office wars. We dig for the gems, open the doors. It's the Super Breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load.